I can still taste blood at the back of my throat when I replay that night. His hands, the sharp snap of bone, and my sister's voice, thin and irritated, not horrified, not protective, but cold. "You should have signed the mortgage." That was her verdict over my collapsed body. No ambulance, no shame, just numbers on a loan she thought I owed them. I dragged myself out of their perfect gated home, shoulder hanging wrong, vision blur pooling red. Every inch between their driveway and my parents' door felt like crossing a border I never knew existed. The family I thought I had, and the truth I was forced to see. I remember knocking, weak, then louder, then the floor rushing up. They tell me I lost consciousness before my mother opened the door. My father says he screamed when he saw my face. I only remembered darkness, quiet, a quiet more honest than anything my sister had ever given me. I wasn't always her burden. She used to braid my hair, tuck me under her arm in school hallways, declare to the world that I was her little sister, untouched, unbreakable. When she married him, Mr. Business degree, perfect smile, I believed the world had rewarded her goodness. I let myself believe it for too long. The first hint came months before the assault, a casual request over dinner, laughter in his voice, "Just sign as guarantor, family helps family, right?" I declined politely. I didn't earn enough to shoulder their mortgage, and I wasn't stupid enough to sign blind. But the look he gave me, that thin, disdainful smirk, should have warned me. Then the messages began, manipulative, pressuring. My sister echoing his tone, as if he'd wired her voice to his agenda. "You owe us. You live rent-free with choices you couldn't afford without my wedding gift." I ignored them at first. I thought stress made people say ugly things. I thought the love I had for her would be enough to outlast his greed. I was wrong. The night he assaulted me began like every other forced family dinner. He poured wine, she reset her smile. And when I refused the final time, clear, steady, unapologetic, he stood. His fist was the last thing I remembered before the tile floor caught me. Pain teaches clarity, not pity, clarity. When I woke in the hospital, everything was different. The police came, doctors documented, neighbors whispered. But my sister, my mirror once, stood at the end of the bed, defending him. He lost his temper because she pushed him. She provoked. If she'd just helped. My mother made her leave. My father called a lawyer before I could speak. That's when the planning began. Not revenge, not yet. Just truth-gathering, reports, photos, voicemails, texts where he threatened, where she joined in, where money replaced blood. I learned restraint the way some learn addiction. Quiet, consistent, controlled. The lawyer smiled like someone who rarely gets open and shut cases handed to him in a folder. "You don't go to war," he said. "You let the law dismember them." So I did. Charges filed, protective order granted, mortgage company notified of fraud attempts. Yes, he'd applied without my signature, forging parts, leaving traces like a toddler with paint on his hands. My sister tried again, but this time her voice cracked. "You're ruining us." I didn't respond, because in that moment I understood. I hadn't ruined anything. I had only stopped being their silent collateral. The climax wasn't a courtroom meltdown or handcuffs clinking on his wrists. It was their faces when the police arrived at their door, not mine. He was charged, assault, falsified documents, intent to defraud. She stood behind him, still performing loyalty, but pale with the realization that she'd tied her life, her name, her future to his sinking mass. The officer who'd seen my body that night looked at me later and said, voice low, almost apologetic, "I don't often feel glad in this job, but today I do." I saw her only once more, not in reconciliation, but resolution. She sat across from me in mediation, eyes swollen, voice small. He promised we'd be okay. There was no venom left in me, no rage, just fact. You chose him over me, not because you loved him, because you needed my signature more than you needed my safety." She flinched. He didn't look up. The settlement finalized. No contact, no debt, no tie. I walked out lighter than I entered. Now, when I stand at my own front door, the one I pay for, the one no one demanded blood for, I remember the night I crawled, begging for help. And I remember what happened next. My parents lifting me instead of blaming me. The police believing me instead of questioning me. A world that, for once, didn't ask what I had done to deserve it, but what they had done to think they had a right. Justice wasn't loud. It was precise. And in that precision, I finally stopped bleeding.